video, we are going to discuss about the model of PV cell. So before discussing the model of PV cell, first we will discuss about what is the importance of solar energy and what is the working principle of a PV cell. The solar energy has been renamed by humans since ancient times. Most of the usable renewable energy sources in the world are derived from solar energy. Photovoltaic systems convert solar energy directly into electricity by the principle of photovoltaic effect. Basic unit of this system is a solar cell, which is a PN junction diode. These cells can be connected in series and parallel to obtain the required voltage and power output. A PV system is modeled and analyzed under different conditions of temperature and irradiance. With the outburst of Industrial Revolution, the demand of electricity has increased tremendously. At present, majority of power generated in the world is from fossil-fueled power plants. Fossil fuels are the largest greenhouse gas emitters in the world, contributing 3/4 of all carbon, methane and other greenhouse gas emissions. Also, world's fossil fuel reserve is being depleted drastically. Within a short span of time, world will have to depend on renewable energy sources to meet most of its energy demand. Renewable energy technologies are clean sources of energy that have a much lower environmental impact than conventional energy sources. Solar energy is one among the promising renewable energy sources for the future. Solar energy is the light and heat radiated from the sun, harnessed using a range of evolving technologies including solar architecture, solar photovoltaics, solar thermal energy and solar heating. It is a clean form of energy and it emits very small amount of carbon dioxide and sulfur oxides. Other advantages of solar energy are that is affordable, reliable and flexible. Solar cell is the basic unit of a PV system. A slab of pure silicon is used to make a PV cell. The top of the slab is very thinly diffused within an N-type dopant such as phosphorus. On the base of the slab, a small amount of P-type dopant, typically boron, is diffused. The boron side of the slab is 1000 times thicker than the phosphorus side. Dopants are similar in atomic structure to the primary material. The phosphorus has one more electron in its outer shell than silicon and the boron has one less. These dopants help to create the electric field that motivates the energetic electrons out of the cell created when light strikes the PV cell. Majority of modules use wafer-based cells or thin film cells based on non-magnetic conductive transition metals like tellurium or silicon. Some cells are round or square, while thin film PV modules may have long narrow cells. One silicon solar cell produces 0.5 volt. 36 cells connected together have enough voltage to charge 12-volt batteries and run pumps and motors. A typical module has 36 cells connected in series, plus to minus to increase the voltage. With connected cells and a tough front glass, a protective back surface and a frame, the module can be used for real-world systems. Module is a group of PV cells connected in series or parallel and encapsulated in an environmentally protective laminate. The PV module is the smallest package that produces useful power. The process involved in manufacturing these modules requires high precision and quality control in order to produce a reliable product. Encapsulation is the method in which PV cells are protected from the environment, typically laminated between a glass superstrate and EVA substrate. Panel is group of modules that is the basic building block of a PV array. A group of panels that comprises the complete PV generating unit is called PV array. So this is the diagram which shows the solar cell. So first one, it is a solar cell, and second one, number of solar cells are connected in parallel and series to get the solar panel. And third diagram is the number of solar panels are connected series and parallel to obtain the solar PV array. So the phosphorus gives the wafer of silicon an excess of free electrons. This is called the N-type silicon. This is called the N-type silicon. The N-type silicon is not charged. It has an equal number of protons and electrons. But some of the electrons are not held tightly to the atoms. They are free to move to different locations within the layer. The boron gives the base of the silicon a positive character because it has a tendency to attract electrons. The base of the silicon is called p-type silicon. The p-type silicon has an equal number of protons and electrons. It has a positive character but not a positive charge. Where the N-type silicon and p-type silicon meet, free electrons from the N layer flow into the p layer for a split second, then form a barrier to prevent more electrons from moving between the two sides. This point of contact and barrier is called the p-n junction. When both sides of the silicon slabs are doped, there is a negative charge in the p-type section of the junction and a positive charge in the n-types of first junction due to movement of the electrons and holes at the junction of the two types of materials. This imbalance in electrical charge at the p-n junction produces an electric field between the p-type and n-type silicon. If the PV cell is placed in the sun, photons of light strikes the electrons in the p-n junction and energize them, knocking them free of their atoms. These electrons are attracted to the positive charge in the n-type silicon and repelled by the negative charge in the p-type silicon. Most proton-electron collisions actually occur in the silicon base. A conducting wire connects the p-type silicon to an electric load such as a light or battery and then back to the n-type silicon, forming a complete circuit. As free electrons are pushed into the n-type silicon, they repel each other because they are of like charges. The wire provides a path for the electrons to move away from each other. This flow of electron is an electric current that travels through the circuit from the n-type of the p-type silicon. In addition to the semiconducting material, solar cell consists of a metallic grid or other electrical contact to collect electrons from the semiconductor and transfer them to the external load and back contact layer to complete the electrical circuit. So this is the diagram which shows the principle of operation. As in the step 1, it is shown that there is a p-n type of silicon material in which top layer is a n-type material and down is the p-type material. In this step 2, we are applying some electric field. So there is the creation of p-n junction in between the p and n-type material. In this step 3, we can able to observe that when photons from sunlight is striking on the electrons, it start moving towards the positive terminal of the battery. So when there is in the step 4, we can able to observe that when a load is connected in between the p-n type of material, there will be a movement of the free electrons which leads to the flow of current. So this is the model of the PV cell. So a solar cell can be typically modeled by a current source and an inverter diode connected anti-parallel to it. So this is we have already discussed in the second lecture. It has its own series and parallel resistances. The series resistance is due to the hindrance in the path of the flow of electrons from N to P junction, and parallel resistance is due to the leakage current. So we have already observed about these also. So when a current is produced from this p type of material, so you can able to see that actually when the current is produced from here, so it requires one alternate path. So because of that, there will be a which opposes the flow of current. So there is a shunt field resistance is provided here. So this is due to this leakage leakage of current. So whatever the current is produced from the sunlight, it will get two paths. One is through the diode and other from this load resistance, so which is connected in series. But there will be some leakage of current will be there. So due to this, there is a existence of the shunt resistance. So modeling of the PV cells means we have to estimate the value of the I and V. Also, the PV characteristics curves are used to emulate the real cell under the various environmental conditions. An ideal solar cell is modeled by a current source in parallel with the diode. However, no solar cell is ideal, and thereby shunt and series resistances are added to the model. Yeah, because there will be some losses will be there, heat losses, and also there is the existence of the series and shunt resistances. So this is the PV cell. Actually, this PV cell is a equivalent circuit in which there is a current source parallel with one diode. Then there is one shunt resistance and then series resistance. So when we are this whole model can be given by this. You can able to see this more envelope. So this envelope will nothing but the model of a solar PV. So you can able to consider that if this envelope is shown, there will be a current source parallel with the diode and a resistance, and then series resistance will be available. Then across the anode and cathode terminal, we can able to observe the voltage, and there will be a flow of current. So there will be a flow of current I here. So next we can able to see that this is the equivalent circuit. So when a photon current is produced, it will get the diverged in diode, that is ID, plus there will be a flow of current, that is I into R shunt, that is here. Then there will be a current I which is flowing through the series resistance. So as shown in the figure, you can able to see that the photon current is nothing but diode current plus shunt resistance current plus series resistance current. So from this, anyway, this current is supplied to the load. So I is equal to IP minus ID minus I into R shunt. So now this I R shunt. So this I R shunt can be written. So that is the current which is flowing through the shunt field resistance. So that current is nothing but the voltage available divided by the resistor. So now you have to see what is the voltage at this point. So this voltage is nothing but this voltage. So if you are considering this one as a loop, so this one will be V plus I into R series is the voltage. So divided by R shunt will give you the current. So this is nothing but I R shunt. That is the current which is flowing through the R shunt resistor is equal to V plus IRS divided by R shunt. So as we have, we know that is the diode current. Empirical formula for the diode current is nothing but I naught into e to the power V plus IRS divided by eta Vt minus 1, where the Vt is nothing but K into T divided by Q, that also can be written as T divided by 11,600, and eta is the ideality factor which is equal to 2, and I naught is nothing but the reverse saturation current which is equal to K T to the power M into E minus V, E power minus Vg. So here we can able to discuss what and all other terms are used in the equation of the diode current. So I naught equal to reverse saturation current as I told. So the K value is the constant, and VGO, here the VGO is the forbidden gap band gap energy, which is almost equal to the 1.6 volt. And then there will be a constant M which is 1.5 for the silicon material, and the value of VGO will be 1.16 to 1.21 volt for the silicon material. So if we are substituting this value, ID value in the equation, our the total current which is available at the load can be expressed as photon current minus I naught into e to the power V plus I R series divided by eta Vt minus 1 minus V plus I R series by R shunt. So this is the standard equation of the current which is flowing in the load, okay, which is generated from the solar PV. So now we will again discuss how this expression can be obtained. So this is the equivalent circuit model of a solar PV when a PN junction is not illuminated. So the equation, as already we have discussed in the lecture 2, that is when there is no sunlight. When there is no sunlight, the equation for the diode current is the there will be only a diode function will be available. So when there is no illumination, the equation for the diode current can be obtained as I naught into e power v by vt minus 1. It's similar to what we have discussed in the previous slide. So this is the model of PV cell. So Vt is the thermal voltage, which is equal to Kt divided by Q. T is the operating temperature, Q is the charge of an electron, and I naught is the diode saturation current. When a PN junction is illuminated, the characteristics is shifted. So this is also already we have discussed in the previous lecture. So it will be shifted down. So with illumination. So first one, the dark curve. So this one is the dark curve. So this is when there is no illumination. So the characteristic curve is like a diode. But when it is illuminated, the characteristics curve is shifted to the quadrant 4. That is the diode or PN junction diode is acting in a generating mode, not in a sinking mode. So if we are applying the KCL to the characteristic equivalent circuit, so the value of the net current will be I phase minus ID minus IR shunt. If we are considering the intrinsic series and shunt impedances, if we are considering both, the net current from the diode can be given by I. This is also we have discussed just now. So the value of I is equal to I photon current minus I naught into exponential of V plus I into R shunt divided by Vt minus 1 minus V plus I R shunt divided by R shunt. So the last term in the above equation can be neglected because the value of R is very greater than the value of the R shunt. So it can be written as I phase minus I naught into exponential of V plus I Rs divided by Vt minus 1. So this is the equation for the net current available from the PV cell. So the equation for net current available from the PV cell, since the value of the series resistance is very greater than the R shunt, we can neglect this term. So now the saturation current I naught is can be given by I into R. I naught is equal to IRS, that is a reverse saturation current, is equal into T divided by TR whole to the power cube exponential of QEGO, that is the energy gap divided by Pk into 1 divided by 1 minus, that is the reference temperature, minus 1 divided by T. So it is the reverse saturation current, and it is given by ISC divided by exponential of QVOC divided by NS into KAT minus 1. ISC is the short circuit current, we know that one. So it is a specific for the particular cell. So this data you can able to obtain from the data specifications or data sheet of a particular PV cell. The equation of the photon generated current I phase is given by ISC into ISC plus K I into T minus TR into lambda by 1000. So this is a PV module illumination. Lambda is the PV module illumination and A is the PN junction ideality factor. As I told, TR is the reference temperature, RS is the series resistance, R shunt is the shunt impedance, and VOC is the open circuit voltage, and K is the short circuit current temperature coefficient. So the equation 5 can be used for obtaining the IV characteristics of a PV cell. So this is the figure which shows the model, that is after designing the PV model and all, how we can able to obtain the IV and PV characteristics. So this is also already we have discussed, that is when light is, there is no illumination, the PV cell is acting as a diode only. So the characteristics is similar to the diode characteristics, but when it is illuminated, that is when sunlight is falling on the N type of material, the electrons are hit by the photon, so it will start moving. So the movement, when there is the external load is connected, the movement of the electrons will create the flow of current. So we can able to obtain a voltage across the PV terminal. So there will be a shifting in the characteristics in the fourth quadrant. So as I told, that is the diode characteristics will be like this, but when we are discussing about the PV illuminated, so this characteristics will come like this. But for the analysis purpose, what we will be doing, we will be flipping the characteristics. So this will be flipped. So this curve is flipped and minus or negative axis is taken as positive, and this is a voltage. So this is the open circuit voltage, and so the curve will be like this. So this is a ISC versus VOC curve. So this is a IV curve. Then when illumination is changing slowly, so there will be a variation in the value of ISC, and where there will be a variation in the value of VOC. If you want to obtain the value of the power curve means, so the product of I and V will give you the power. So the maximum power or peak power can be obtained at the maximum value of the voltage and the maximum value of the current. So from this you can able to obtain the curve for the PV. So from the equation whatever we have discussed for this, so there will be a change in the IVPV characteristics when there is a change in the insulation and the temperature. Generally we are using the MATLAB based simulation to validate the theoretical concepts. Since there is a reasonable power output can only be obtained by the series parallel combination of cell, the actual current from the PV module, meaning to obtain, as I told, from only one cell we can able to obtain only 0.5 volt, so which is not sufficient for our application. So we have to connect n number of PV cells in parallel and series to get the maximum value of the output. So based on that, our equation, that is the output equation of the solar cell, can be written as NP into I phase minus NP into I naught exponential of Q into V plus IRS divided by NS into KAT minus 1. Nothing actually. So here we are including this in this numerator, NP multiplied, that is number of parallel cells are multiplied with the photon current, as well as in the reverse search diode current also. And also we are multiplying the series number of cells with the denominator constant. So NS is the number of cells connected in series and NP is the number of cells connected in parallel. So this is the discussion about the model of a PV cell. So in this lecture, in the starting, we have discussed what is the importance of the solar energy, why we have to replace the fossil fuel by the renewable energy sources, in the renewable, among the renewable energy sources, why the solar energy is very very important, and then we have discussed about what is the working of the PV model and how the PV cells are connected in series and parallel to obtain the PV panel or PV module, and then PV array we have discussed. Then we have started the discussion about the model of a PV cell by considering the equivalent circuit, and we have discussed the various mathematical equation for the diode current. Using those current from the equivalent circuit, we have obtained the expression for the photon current. Then using that photon current equation, we can able to calculate the value of the load current, and then we can able to observe the value of the voltage available. So, and then we have discussed that from the single PV cell we can able to obtain only 0.5 volt. So to obtain the maximum amount of the voltage, we have to connect the number of cells in series and parallel. So now this is the equation which we can able to obtain the photon current using the to get the maximum value of the voltage and current. We have to connect the number of cells in series and parallel, so that equation is expressed as I is equal to NP into I phase minus NP into I naught exponential of Q into V plus I into RS divided by NSK AT minus 1. So I hope you could have been understood the concepts of the model of PV cell and its working, and this is the characteristics of IV and PV characteristics of a typical solar cell. So if you have any doubts, we will discuss. Thank you.